greetings guys and welcome to yet another episode of Podvise. My name is Trio-Mio and I am glad and honored to be joined by my amazing team over here, Mr. Kevin and Miss Joy. Yeah, and today we're really excited. We have some really interesting topics that we want to engage you guys in.
Yeah.
So
deep topics today. So as I was saying behind the scenes, I do want us to get deep today.
Sure.
For this show, I want us to get a bit more revealing with how we experience.
Personally.
Kidogo tu, sindio? And I want to start with the Trio-Mio story. So I think most of us have seen it. If you haven't, please check it out. In his new song, he plays a small kid by Kiss. And then some of them posted what they were saying about him. And they were bantering. It's just banter. It's just banter. And they were saying how...
I feel like there's some banter that has something to do with it.
There's no joke that just comes out of it.
Right?
There's always an element of truth. Yeah, that's why, you see, it has to be funny to be called a joke. Otherwise, it was just a statement to make.
For sure, yeah.
And they're saying how people are saying he was making hits because of pressure at KCSE, which is very undermining. Right. I didn't like it because I'm like, you people are old enough.
Right.
You have tried getting into these spaces. You know how hard it is to make a voice for yourself.
Sure.
So much so that now you are a host on Kiss, which is a dream for very many people, especially upcoming people.
Sure.
So this is how I want to start the topic. What do you feel? What has been your personal experience? Even if it's not something that you've necessarily gone through, something you've witnessed close to you, about how when somebody starts something, like Trio-Mio, it's music, and it's very shied upon in Kenya because it's not traditional. And you guys don't necessarily have traditional ways as well. Traditional meaning not what our parents would envision for us as a way. 9 to 5. Yeah. Sometimes you have bread, sometimes you don't. But how people undermine you. Doubting for me is normal, especially if we haven't seen the thing. When you begin something, there's always going to be doubt. But now when it goes to bullying, because that's what I felt it was. It was quite cutty. And I didn't like it. And clearly he took it the same way. For him to put it as an egg. Because even that song is actually really good and you could tell it was coming from him. Right? So, okay. For me, I think that when you're young, people think you don't know anything. Oh, it's not
the older generation, most importantly.
Yes. And older doesn't even have to be that old. For me, like 30 is not old. You're probably 10, 15 years older than somebody, right? But this guy is a kid. Right. You couldn't encourage him. Even if it was banter, you'd have said, but you know what, Trio-Mio, don't even bother with these naysayers. You do what you do.
For sure,
right? And I feel like what would have that done to him? Because as artists and people who do music and art, whatever, they already have a lot of self-doubt going on.
For sure. You
draw something, you tear 20 pages before you're satisfied with one. And then somebody is on TV or on the radio saying, Julie Kwanaishi Dama Julie Kwapa, you couldn't do better.
For sure,
So you know how that would get to you.
And I totally resonate with that. Like, I feel like there's usually like some sort of self-doubt for mostly artists and freelancers, because there's always, so many uncertainties, in this field of ours. So I feel like for me, I think it was really uncalled for, for them to, say something negative about them. But also sometimes you just realize, with being on radio and even just like being in that space, so many times people, blatter or blabber or say whatever they mean.
They forget the power of the mic.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's it.
Exactly.
And forget that's power.
Exactly. You can imagine that a point of power, where they're influencing so many people. So, I mean, it's Kiss, Kiss has always been there ever since.
Yeah,
so I feel like they have to have bad taste for so many people. At least. And now you can imagine also, for Trio, I feel like he's still young, trying to just trying to figure out his way in this industry. And now the people that you look up to, are looking down.
Encouraging him.
Right, exactly. But like what I like about it is that like the turn of events.
What he did.
Exactly, which I think that's the other thing. Like sometimes even people try to bring you down. Like don't just take, just at least try to take it light. Yeah, try to take it lightly. I mean sometimes it can be hard, because you just
don't believe them.
Yeah, and like what I liked about it was I don't know if you guys have seen the video. He goes back to the studio with a bunch of his friends and he hands them an L. Like okay, it's a paper that is written, printed an L on it, and and he hands them back to them, and then they have like a good photo session. I like what he did to the whole situation. Yeah, because the other thing also you could have been, mad about it, try to call them out, he tried to call them out in a creative way, by
Instead of
releasing a
going to
song.
make money.
And basically riding on the whole controversy around
Right?
it, which was really smart of him. So I feel like also like most of the times it depends on how how you react at the end of the day, or how you respond necessarily. Like not reacting but rather responding
How
to
you
what
do.
how you respond to the situation. And I feel like that was really smart of him, He was able to finesse the whole thing,
Like,
do a
thank you
song
for
about
content,
it.
guys.
Right? Yeah, and even if you think about it, I feel like that is even why we are literally here speaking about it.
Yeah.
He was able to ride the whole wave, do a song about it. I think they even they're able to reconcile on there, because they were able to, call him on, or I think they clarified, a bunch of things. So I like how he was able to respond to the whole situation. If it could have been another thing, he could have reacted, maybe like written, but
gone lower.
in this case, I feel like he was a bigger person, which even went along
Showed
with-
them up a little bit.
for sure. So
Now I'm on
ironically,
your show.
yeah.
The bigger person.
It's ironic, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, like what I've learned from that whole experience is just like responding more than you actually do react. By writing a song, so now he just finessed
We wouldn't
the whole
have had the song otherwise,
thing.
probably.
I think
But
maybe
because
he
it was
couldn't have had
attached
enough
to
airway.
this, it made a bit more splash
For sure.
than maybe it would have made.
Yeah.
What do you think stood out for you when you saw that clip?
I mean, definitely he finessed that situation.
Right? Yeah.
That's finesse. Yeah, that's
That was your first
a
reaction?
W to
When you just saw it, the whole thing, it was like, hey, this guy is smart.
yeah, too much. From
From
what
it's even funny, because like from where we saw it from his song.
yeah.
So it's sort of like an intro to the song.
I see what
Yeah.
you're
So
saying.
it's like
You didn't see it independent of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of the
so,
song.
Yeah, so he sort of like finessed the whole thing, if you ask me, which I think is really wise for him.
And he also got a lot of love from his comments. I believe.
Yeah, like support, because it's really hard. But imagine like being a
Do you
creative
remember
in
your
Kenya.
first photograph? Ronnie?
Yo.
Your first paid
It's-
job for when you decided, okay, I'm going to pick this camera
Mhm.
and this is going to be my thing. But then he has a whole exhibition
Oh, for
of
sure.
his very beautiful works. But like your first
Yeah.
photo, do you have it?
Yeah, I do actually have it. I think I'll just show it on the as the video progresses. But I think it was so validating for me because I realized, like people can actually
Do
pay me
this.
for this. So like I feel like for me it was a bit more validating. Just encouraging enough because I realized now I can.
It was like the
literally
green flags you
make-
needed.
Exactly, because I feel like most of the times there's usually so many things that bring us down as creatives, in a third world country, So, just getting to be paid for that. Plus, also I feel like people try to, ride that wave. Oh, your friends. As you come for my birthday, but this is how camera.
You're like, oh, I'm a camera.
Yeah, they just throw it
I am
at
a person.
you. Right, yeah. So now like when someone does actually pay it for, like someone pays you, I think first of all like the first paying gig is usually just so eye-opening. And now you realize, like this
Did
can
you know
literally
even?
be
Did you
an
even know
income.
what to charge? I'm
But
on
it's
one
fine. Like I still, it's about I still have.
It's juicy. I want to. This.
I feel like that's the thing. Like you never really know how to. And that's I think even like for the previous episode, we discussed about it. Like people share from having money conversations. So I still feel like we maybe like need to have a guild or something. Where you can always like advise each other on things as creatives, even how you go about the pricing. How
And
you're able to carry yourself professionally.
And like, does the pricing, which by the way we're going to get a little bit more into when we
Right.
talk about the next topic,
Yeah.
main topic.
Yeah.
But like, does the pricing for you now, does it match the client or is it you? Like, do you situate it with the kind of client? How would gonna charge 8,000 per whatever? You see this client, you're like, no, this one is 12.
Yeah.
This one I'll give it 5.
Yeah.
Or do you have your standard?
I don't feel like there's always like a standard price point because
Okay.
if you think about it, also first of all the job description might be different, right? Like maybe let's say like for you want like 2 shots, and now there's maybe like a corporate company that has like an opening night or something, so you charge them
same
based on
job.
the job
Let's say it's
description.
the same job,
Yeah,
different pockets.
but also I think it would be different because I learned something from Chris Do. I don't know if you guys know him. Yeah, he runs a really informative YouTube page where he just sort of like capacity builds more creatives on how to go about with the pricing. Because he was like he uses this model where he's like, you profile the company and they say like how much the company makes, or rather how much business you're going to give the company, right? And now from
What
there,
value you're going to add.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And even just basically the valuation of the company. Then from the valuation, there's a way that you can be able to deduce a price point or based of that. Because I can't be charging you the same with an
A
individual
startup
person
and a
Yes.
10-year company.
Yeah. So like there's always that. Plus also, what value am I gonna be giving back to the company, right? I can be, you guys can be selling products, right? And you're gonna be making money off
Of my
this picture,
images.
for the rest of your life. So we have to find a good way to also create value for me. Could also be royalties. I'm also realizing that you also need to you also
You
need
get
to find
money
a
in
way.
the bank end as opposed to front.
Yeah. But basically, just finding what works best for you. I think it also varies on different engagements, and also how you all come to a conclusion as to how you guys are going to be working. So yeah.
And for you, Kev, like how has it been starting your own thing?
I mean, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I feel like we kind of do in the creative field.
Yeah. For sure.
But mine is a bit more on the like branding and business development side. But yeah, usually it's mostly the same thing, whereby the price has to, of course it's going to be dynamic based on who you're working with and the value that you're bringing them as.
For sure.
As Ronnie said, so yeah, it's more or less the same thing.
Do you also get a lot of people asking free work from you?
Free work. I mean, of course, yeah, but
Right.
Do you do free work?
No, I don't.
You're like, pay me. Hey, that was so quick. I didn't even get the word in.
But it's funny. It's
Unless you're like my I don't even do free work for my
Right,
mom.
there's always a value that someone has to give.
She
to you.
probably wouldn't want free work anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you should genuinely
Why
want
not?
to
Why would they
promote your stuff. Yeah, because you still have bills to pay. At the end of the day,
It's
you're
charity.
still going to.
Yeah, unless it's like a non-profit that I feel like this is actually something that I could volunteer, dedicate myself to doing
the cause,
this.
yeah.
But until such a date.
Plus, also, I just came to realize, like, if you want to work for free, you think that what I'm giving you is not valuable enough for you to spend money on. And that's another thing that I've come to realize, like, why would you want something for free? Because at the end of the day, there's always something that there's a story
You're saying
or
something
that
about
you're
me
trying to
and
sell.
my work.
So
You're
at the end of
telling
the
me
day,
what
it's
you
also
think
saying something
about
about
me.
you. Yeah, exactly.
You're telling me what you think about me.
Yeah, I feel like we just need to, have these conversations more. And I like how Podvise is literally opening these conversations.
In the same context, not just creative, but anyone who's trying to.
Yeah, you'd be
Do any
surprised.
kind of
Like
business,
in the
yeah.
corporate world, from what I have seen, especially lawyers,
Yeah.
they're the most used. People are just like, it's just an affidavit. It's just
Yeah,
a page.
right.
Like, okay,
It's
I
just 2
went
minutes.
5 years to school to do this page.
Exactly.
You see,
Five
I think,
minimum.
and you
That's
haven't
it.
specialized on nothing,
Yeah.
right? That's KSL and everything. And then I think I saw this quote for like doctors and lawyers, and they were like, "You're not paying me for the page. You're paying me for the 5, 7,
experience.
6 X amount of years.
Yeah.
I went to school to be able to do this page in 30 minutes."
Yeah.
For sure.
And you have the option of doing it yourself. People can always represent themselves.
You're right.
That was the one thing I learned a lot about working around lawyers. Like, they're always suited up, but they go through a lot of nonsense.
I usually say, like, I think there's actually that I've seen where there's this guy saying about like how Jivanji kumejaa tu malawyer.
Lawyer wako wengi pale Jivanji, lawyer wengi wanalala hapo nyasi hapo. Unafikiria siku hizi kazi iko? Toka law school wanakuja kulala hapo Jivanji.
It's hard, of which already hakuna, like, people. I feel like also with the internet and what we were discussing there and whatever, you can learn anything on the internet now. People have taught the self-coding. People have taught, so people are just learning how to do these things.
Right.
So I think as lawyers also, even people in the corporate, lawyers, I'm using just that as an example. Like,
for sure.
there's a way you can just learn how to make your thing better,
For sure.
right? Yeah, so even for this Trio-Mio issue and how you guys began your thing and the full circle moment they had and they brought him on the show and everything.
They
And
made amends,
yeah, for us podcasters and people on radio, like, I just feel like just remember that camera is powerful, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of other people watching you behind. So don't be throwing. In as much as you're trying to create content, I feel like you should also just be mindful of the content that you're trying to create. You shouldn't be hurtful, but if anything, you should be supportive and encouraging to other artists. Because I mean, you're looking up to you at least. So the least you can do is just try to encourage other artists.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored to you by Readfest Bookstore. You wonder what that is? Well, it is an online and physical bookshop that is a library with a wide variety of books from self-help, romance, business, mystery, religion, whatever topic, they have it. Check out Readfest. You can DM them at Readfest Bookstore and get your book, or you could go into their store located in the CBD at Sawa Mall, 3rd floor, stall C8, where you can interact with all the books and get the full experience. So for book lovers, make this your library. And for those who want to up their reading, please don't feel shy to contact them. They'll definitely guide you. So from seasoned readers to beginners and everyone in between, make Readfest Bookstore your book home. Karibuni. So I want to talk about this, right? Okay, so I feel like that this topic marries into the two things that we want to talk about, which is like mental health thing. We've talked about starting your own thing, right? The imposter syndrome that comes in that.
Yeah.
Have you guys gone through imposter syndrome? I don't think I've gone through imposter syndrome.
Wow,
I actually don't.
I feel like I go
Who is
through
your friend?
every other day.
Wow, for real.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
What does it feel like? Could we, like?
Wait, I think first of all you need to just define what imposter syndrome is, right? I mean,
Okay.
for anyone who does not necessarily understand, you're not taking it since you.
Yeah. So imposter syndrome is when it's a very deep insecurity, and once you've worked really hard for something, like you worked for whatever you wanted, then you finally get it and you don't feel like you deserve it.
Sure.
Or you feel like other people are brighter than you and they are prettier than you and they
Start
have
doubting
more,
yourself.
like I don't have anything to say.
Right.
No. And if people are looking at you like, oh my god, she's a rock star, like you are really good at what you do, but you don't see it. You have to give yourself like, no, you deserve to be in this room with these
The
people.
pep talks.
Like for you though, you've been paneling a lot of things, and when people talk, you're like, woo, okay.
Like, it's just so interesting. But I feel like generally most creators go through like the whole imposter syndrome at least a couple of times through their whole career, through their careers and their journeys.
You get it.
Like a meal. Yeah. So I mean I'll just speak, for myself. So yeah, I feel like most of the times I get it like maybe like on a Monday morning, like when guys are going to work and you don't necessarily have like a 9 to 5, like the security that comes with like a 9 to 5.
Oh, you still get.
Yeah, so you just like, okay, like it's a 9, it's 9, like everyone's left the house and just by my own corner, and I'm just like, hey, am I doing the right thing? Like, should I be doing the application?
I should be wearing something.
It's like it's always. And it's funny how our mind works, because at the end of the day, I feel like we're always our biggest critics. Like, right? Like your mind will always find a way to make you doubt yourself.
And then the 9 to 5 person is like, oh my god, I wish I was running.
I swear.
Look at the events he's going to. He gets to take photos.
Interesting.
He gets to leave.
It's always that the grass is greener on the other. Don't you think that contributes kidogo on the imposter syndrome? Like the grass is greener. You think the other person has it better, they're doing better or whatever than you.
It's always funny how the mind works, but what I'm just
so how do you get yourself out of it?
I think just thinking, okay, I've come to realize that I'll always feel that I've come to just
accept it.
Yeah, accept it and realize that it's always like a passing cloud. I'd feel that way for like 30 minutes, then later I'm like, oh yo, let's go, I'm great. Yeah, I have an exhibition, I'm published. I remember my worth, but sometimes you just usually have like this passing cloud of doubting yourself. But then later I feel like it comes to work well for myself. Like once I realize my value and what I give back to the society, I come to realize, okay, I'm actually doing better than most people. And then I come to acknowledge that I'm blessed and lucky to be doing what I love. And I'm at my own terms, I can dictate a couple of my things unlike other people. So yeah, it just comes back to grounding yourself and thinking about the long
positives of what you're having.
Yeah. Okay. I think also it's hard. Generally, humans, we are wired to think negative. So just like trying to find
that's
think back
actually
to the
not
positive.
true.
You feel so?
Yeah.
I feel like it's so
think I saw
easy to
some
think
research like
negative
your
things.
brain actually, it's like you teach it to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
you just
Or if you've gone through like trauma or something, then now you're hyper aware. People who are like hyper aware of their environment a lot and notices everything, like every reaction. It's people who've gone through trauma. So your brain is taught to really be on guard to protect. But really you're just chilling. Until something happens and then why do people have like copyrights and protecting works? Because somebody was traumatized.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
did the work and then somebody else
Someone
came and
did
said,
something,
I
yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
And they got all the money. Still.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's where it comes from, and just knowing that.
I think it's easier to think negative than positive.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Right. That's why so many people. I don't even want to speak for so many people.
Yourself.
Let me just speak for myself. Yeah. So I feel like you just have to train your mind to think of the positive things. I also realized I was speaking to, or rather, I was listening to Gary Vee some time back, where he was like, "Your mind is like a gaze. You can either decide to think of the negatives, or decide to think of the positive. So if you start thinking of the negatives, just sort of like, I know it's not as easy as we make it sound, but try to like turn your gaze to like the positive.
I have a tip.
Yeah.
I listen to Mel Robbins. Do you know what who Mel Robbins is?
Yeah.
She has this concept.
Yeah.
She's even written books about it. It's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And how it's almost like chemically you change something in your brain when you do the countdown. So for example, your alarm rings, just simple things like that, and you're like, I have to go to work again.
Yeah.
Before that thought pattern begins, you're like, no, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you shoot out of bed like a maniac, literally. Just get it doing. I have to clean up. Oh my God, this is a lot.
Don't wait for your mind.
5, 4, 3. Yeah, it's like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like you're not giving yourself space for the talks to begin that really mess up your flow. And I tried it out because for me, I think I fell into depression and I didn't know I was in depression because nothing.
So at what point? Anyways, just continue.
I'm going to help you and how it helped me.
Yeah.
So I'd stay in bed a lot. I think I stayed in bed for a year. I didn't even know that year left.
Yeah.
As next I was like, I didn't enjoy the whole year. I have been in bed. And then speaking to my friends, they're like, yeah, it happens. Something happens, you just start locking yourself in the room.
Yeah.
You spend hours and hours on your iPad or phone or whatever. So when I listened to Mel Robbins, like doing simple things like getting out of bed was hard for me. Like I'd get out, probably brush my teeth or something and go back.
Yeah.
I had to be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, anchor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make food. Imagine I'd even eat with my brain. I'd be like, what do I feel like eating? Mandy's, it doesn't taste good. Okay, it's not worth it. I'm not eating.
Yeah.
And then I don't eat. Imagine you slip into it slowly by slowly. And then it feels overwhelming because you probably want to be great. Like you told yourself you want to be the 95. You have to, because you see people on the internet doing their thing. So you're like, how do I get from me who can't even get out of bed to this? The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 helps. Because you're like, okay, just bathe. That's all you have to do today. Just bathe. Okay, you bathe. Then tomorrow is like, let's do 2 things. Okay, then let's go for a walk. So the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is something I feel like doesn't cost you money, doesn't cost you time. Just to interrupt those negatives.
Yeah, like rewiring your brain to thinking of
something different.
Yeah. Not letting the negative thoughts seem much in your brain. Just get to it.
Just get to it. Yeah, I feel like it will help. Maybe. Okay, so guys, I think we've touched on this a little bit.
Yeah.
On starting your own thing.
For sure.
So my thing I want to talk about is young people and entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? For me, it's when you just literally start your own business.
Right, yeah.
From whatever you
And
have,
make an
whatever
income.
you know.
Yeah.
And I want to shed a light on online stores. So where I work is literally like a pickup point for online stores. People are selling clothes, they're selling books, they're selling think about it, there's an online store for it, right?
For sure.
And then you see, I didn't know that before getting into this work. I don't know, like you see when people have online stores, they don't have a physical shop. That's rent, that's space. That's a lot of headache that you don't necessarily have. So people have it in their homes. They wake up early, they go to Gikomba, they shop for clothes, and then whatever you like. If you're for shoes, it's shoes. If it's belts, whatever you specialize in, right? And they do it. There are people like flowery dresses, whatever, florals, whatever. Then they bring them into their house. And then with their apps, now they present it to you.
For sure.
The background is the same. We just lay some sheets around, put a flower here, and then the people who do like an inspo shoot. There's some sunglasses, maybe a bag of you can choose. Maybe to come bring the outfit alive. And I just thought like, wow, these guys are doing so much production I don't even know.
Right.
They're doing their own marketing, they're doing their own placements, they're plugging themselves, they're paying for ads.
For sure.
And the whole thing. And I just thought it's such an interesting topic. people are making money. They're making
Right.
100,000, 200,000 just on online.
At the comfort of their space, I
At the
suppose.
at the comfort of it's still work. You still have to wake up and do
There's so much stuff that goes unnoticed, right?
right. Yeah.
But then most of the times I'm usually so optimistic in the sense of I feel like you're so lucky to have been born in this generation.
Social media.
Yeah, because now there's, you know, you just, and now, you know, there's also like different apps that you just have to, you don't necessarily have to open a shop. You know, you can just,
There's an
take a
app
picture.
that will iron the clothes. It will whiten your Jordans.
What?
Yeah. I think, and it's been there. Like literally, it looks crisp as ever. Like you just got it from the market.
Okay,
And then
I
you just
get you. Yeah.
you just do this. It's ironed. Is this
right.
white? Let's just whiten it a little bit more.
Oh, I get
See,
I thought like it's
it's
for
not
like
Photoshop.
wearing. Yeah, pretty much. It's just like doing a Photoshop thing.
It's
on your
Photoshop. Yeah. And then they use
digitally
Photoshop.
manipulating the pictures, right? Oh, I thought it's for like in real life that your app is literally gonna iron your clothes for you.
Dude, yeah, I was lost for a second.
I'm like,
You were lost for a
what's
second.
crazy?
Oh no.
Yeah.
It cheats. That
Yeah.
is
So,
iron.
you mean for marketing?
And then you
right?
see the thing, it was is it AR, the one
Yeah.
that brings images
Oh,
alive. So
yeah.
imagine now also with the clothes, there's a way you can
Right.
do it.
Imagine that you can
With
literally just
whatever you're
embed it to
selling.
your outfit. then
Yeah.
you can
Make
sell
it more
to
fun.
a bit more, yeah,
Right?
engaging.
Accessories, it's like they have like
Yeah, honestly, but I feel like right now there's just so many tools that you can use. You know, if you're trying to start a business, which I think is really amazing. And I feel like, you know, like we should just be, you know, me or I'm also including myself in the conversation, right? We should just try to be a bit more engaging and, you know, just like kujituma.
Just be
in that sense.
proactive.
You sell yourself.
yeah, be proactive. Just like
because like there's so many opportunities that you can grasp, and I feel like most people are just waiting for the conventional 9 to 5. And if you don't have a job, you just like sulk in. You know, there's just so many opportunities that you can be able to grasp in this age that we are in.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
because traditional jobs are not as easy as they were.
Right.
And people nowadays are like, oh, you have a master's, that's great. Show me your experience. It always feels like there's something more you need to do.
Right,
Like,
maybe
you can
there's
never-
always like an extra step.
It's like you told me to go to school, I went.
Now you need a master's.
Okay, now I have masters. Where is your work experience?
Right.
I was in
After
school.
that 2 years, now you need a working experience like you. Just hard. So yeah, I feel like the future is for the people who go out and make.
Do you
their
think
own
people are starting entrepreneurship because they actually are entrepreneurs, or life just forced them, or is it both?
I feel like it's a bit of both.
it's a mix of both, right?
What made you want to start?
Me, okay, for me personally, it was just mostly about realizing that that's how I'm built,
Yeah.
right? That I'm not essentially built for like employment setting. I feel employment should be a stepping stone,
Yeah.
right?
To what you really
realizing
want
what
to
you want
do.
to do.
Yeah.
Into what you want to do, unless,
For sure.
of course, you're in like
You're
a
okay with
special situation
employment.
in whereby you know what, I'm comfortable with this. I like this security.
I like this,
It
yeah.
provides avenues for me to learn more and such
For
things.
sure.
But
For you, it's a
personally,
stepping
anyway,
stone.
yeah, for me personally, I don't think of myself as an employee, so to speak. Even if I'm in an employment kind of situation, I always try and think of myself as
Your brain is always
as
This
a
can be a business idea,
associate.
okay.
In terms of where I am, how can I try and
Scale up.
make what's going on better?
better.
And of course, that also brings in the aspect of how much autonomy you have in the situation, to whereby if you have a boss, how much do they, enable you to actually bring
in
forward
that
the
space.
ideas and try to help the business.
So you feel like in employment, it's like you're subject to the whims of whoever is above you.
Pretty
so
much.
if they believe in you, you'll thrive.
Yeah.
If they give you more opportunity, you'll thrive. If they are hoggers and they want to do everything, you
There's
just
not so
give
much.
that away.
Yeah.
So that you're a bit uncomfortable with that, giving that power away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Me, I hear business, I shut down.
Yeah. I feel like it's just
Imagine
another
I'm
way
not those
for
business
freedom.
oriented.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
sometimes
really
that's how
not.
it is.
Yeah, but then you also have to realize that not everyone is suited for that life.
And I probably I'd be able to do it because now I understand so many things, thank God, to where I work.
Yeah.
But you see the way you're just talking about it and it's giving you life. For me, I'm just like, ooh.
But then
You know,
I feel like it's not for everyone.
People are
It's
starting
hard,
cake
it's stressful.
businesses.
But then it's funny. I
baking.
feel like it comes from IG. Like most of the time, Instagram and these social media handles, like they only glorify the the achievements. you know, and now people sort of like want to also, you know, be in that space, but then they don't realize that there's usually so much behind the scenes that they don't notice. You know, like how you said, you know, someone will literally go thrift their clothes, you know, just like do
Wake
the
up in
hardest
the
work.
morning,
Then pictures in your post now, you know, looking all nice and
you have
stuff.
to pack.
Yeah. So people also need to realize that
It's
there's
still
only
work.
so much. There's still like so much work that goes unnoticed or people don't necessarily share. And now, you know, it has this. It becomes a little bit misinforming or falsifying for the people who just, you know, want to do this thing because they've seen you and they also didn't realize that you've been doing this.
They
almost
see
like
your content
10
and they
years
think
ago.
it's easy.
They're like, yo, okay, now I also
You
want
walk
to
up
do
like
this.
this.
Yeah, and also
Yeah,
I
I'm a
just-
photographer.
Exactly.
Hey,
And also, I was
camera
about to speak to because I feel like so many people go to this space, you know, either for clout, but then
Or
it-
they think it's cool, and they
Exactly,
there's
you know,
a lot
for
of
points.
thankless work
yeah.
behind
So
it.
no, then they also realize, you know, there's also like days where you don't have clients, you know, and also, you know, if you just are trying to be like any other photographer, you know, you're always just gonna stagnate. So yeah, I feel like people don't do it intentionally. Like they don't come into the space with the intentions of like, you know, just like standing out for themselves. They just want
Building their brand.
Yeah,
per se.
exactly. Yeah.
What do you
They just do it for the sake, and they end up, you know, miserable at the end of the day.
What do you think about content creation nowadays? Like TikTok will have me watch somebody rearrange something from the packets they've brought to clear containers
And so
and put
there's just
them
like
in
so
the
much
fridge.
pressure.
And they're making money.
But I won't. I feel like most of the time it's just like consistency. But also it's hard.
But content is a lot nowadays.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like there's also more content. And there's also like now more pressure to do extravagant stuff. You know, now you
But
just
now
don't
people are
shoot.
watching really simple things.
Yeah.
We are watching people ironing sheets.
Yeah.
I guess. I think it's just so
Depends on
fascinating.
what you're trying to watch.
No, people are waking up in the morning,
Yeah.
steaming their sheets.
Yeah.
They have towel warmers. And, you know, just watching that. There's
Oh.
lifestyle issue. That's the
Yeah,
lifestyle
for sure.
content.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's the business content. Somebody shows you how they do the tagging
Mm.
and how it's a lot of work. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So you guys, I just want to encourage you. If anything, just go out there, learn something. You don't have to have everything figured out. Just start. If you're selling 2 clothes, sell the 2
They
clothes.
just start. Yeah.
Yeah, just start. I feel like that's the thing. Just start. You'll make mistakes, you'll fall, and that's okay. That's where you learn.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Nothing
mean that
comes
you
easy.
fail.
Like
Yeah,
nothing
nothing.
meaningful comes.
You'll figure it out on the way. That's all I can say. So guys, thank you for such a good show. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I think it's been a really insightful conversation.
Definitely, as always.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
always.
And I mean, you were looking forward to having more of these conversations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, as usual, you guys please tag, share, comment, like, talk to
Subscribe.
us. We are always listening to you. We love you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for
Yes, sir.
listening to us. Until next time,
Keep it
adios.
Peace.
Peace. Bye bye.
Yeah. How's that?
Clean.
That was nice, right?
Clean, clean, clean.